How you going, guys? It is the Board Game Bully, still on the mend from my surgery, rocking the custom made by my daughter Among Us / Minecraft lifting top. And we're here to do a review on an oldie but a goodie, the 2011 Kenner Spiel winner, Seven Wonders. Now, obviously there are many versions of Seven Wonders, many expansions for Seven Wonders. We are just looking at base game Seven Wonders today. And we're doing this because we played it last week? No, the week before. But also because there is now a new version of Seven Wonders out. So how does this old one hold up? Is it still a good game? Let's have a look. So here we have Seven Wonders set up, and this is what you'll see in front of you when you're playing. Now, obviously it doesn't look like much, but that's because a lot of this game happens in your hand. So you'll start off with one of these Wonder Boards. Now, a Wonder Board will give you one resource in the top left immediately. You'll also get 3 coins, and your Wonder will have 2 to 4 stages for you to complete that have a cost listed here. Now, those costs can be paid with resources, and resources can be gotten by playing cards. So what will happen on your first turn is you'll be dealt 7 cards. So let's move this out of the way and let's play down the 7 cards I have randomly selected. Here, we are actually missing one military. We've got the full gambit here, except we're missing a military card. So let's just cheat. Oh, we don't have a science card either. So let's cheat. Let's change our hand. That's how you know it was randomly dealt. We don't load the deck here. Whatever may be, may be. So we'll get rid of this one. Goodbye. Got a science. And we'll get rid of this one. Goodbye. Oh no, we can get rid of this one. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is your hand of 7 cards. Now, the brown cards are your basic resource cards. So we have a look at the clay pot. Now, you're looking at the top left of the card to see if it has any cost. It does not. So you can play this card for free. So, if I wanted to play the clay pool, it will give me 1 brick resource every single turn. So what I would do is I would play this card face down, and I would take all these cards, and in the first age, I would pass it to the person on my left. The person on my right would then come through, and they would pass me their cards. I would flip the card that I have played, pay any costs that are required, and I would pick up my now 6 cards. And oh, look at that, my 6 cards. They're the same cards I sent. Woof, what happened? So white cards are also resources. However, they are much rarer. So you've got 3 types of these rare resources. You've got the glass. You've also got the paper, which we start with 1 innately. And you have cloth, I believe it is. So they are mostly used for science. So again, what I would do is I would pay any required costs. There are none. Pass my cards off to the left. Someone would pass their cards to me. Now let's look at what's going on next. We want to get our wonder done. So these are the stages of your wonder, and they will, when you finish them, give you these rewards automatically. Now, all victory points are rewarded at the end of the game, but it would immediately give you 4 coins. Here, this one would immediately give you 4 coins, and this one would immediately give you 4 coins. Now, these can be done in any age. So you don't have to do the first step in the first age, and you don't have to do the 3rd step in the 3rd age. I've seen many players get all steps done in the 1st age, for instance. So what you would do, let's say this is what I have in front of me. I've had 1 turn and I've paid 1 coin to get this in front of me. So I now have 1 stone or 1 ore and 1 paper every turn. So the cost to build this first stage of the wonder is 2 stone. I can't do it by myself because I only have 1 stone. But the person to my right also has a stone. So without depriving them of their stone, I can throw them 2 coins. They would give me 1 coin back. And I can use their stone to build my wonder. Now what I would do is I would just take a card, preferably that I don't want someone else to have, and I would place it under here. And that is the first stage of my wonder done. I would then take my 4 coins. So even though it cost me 2 coins to do it because I had to pay old mate Mr. Righty, I'm still going to get 4 coins, so it's a net gain for me. Now, let's have a look at some of the other cards. Say I didn't want to pay 2 coins. Say 2 coins was too rich for my blood. If I played a trading post ahead of time, it would allow me to trade resources with the person that the arrow is pointed, so left, for 1 coin. So if old mate Lefty had 1 stone and I had this in front of me, instead of giving old mate Righty 2 coins, I could give old mate Lefty 1 coin, and therefore I would make 3 profit. One of the other cards you will deal with are military cards. So at the end of each age, and each age will end when a person plays their 6th card, you will calculate military. So for every military token you have in front of you, that's your military score. So I have 1. Now old mate Mr. Lefty, he has none. So I'm beating him. So in the first age, I'm going to get 1 military counter for beating him. But old mate Righty, he has 2 military. So I'm actually going to get a -1. So my military score, I would get the chit for +1 and the chit for -1. So I'd have a military score of 0. Now, military victories give you more victory points depending on the age. So in the 2nd age, I would get 3 points for winning, but I would still only lose 1 point for losing. So, we also have just straight victory point cards. They will give you points at the end of the game. And finally, we have science cards. There are 3 science symbols. Now, for each set of science symbols you have, that will pay, I always forget this, 7, I want to say. And then for every set, so this is the cog. So the cog will also score, and it will, so if I had 2, it would be 2 squared. If I had 3, it would be 3 cubed. This sounds wrong. And this is where 7 Wonders always messes me up. And this is why now I play most of my 7 Wonders online, because it's just easier. All right, let's have a look. Let's have a look on our quick thingo. So we've got a quick scoring guide here. So we can all learn together. So he's got this 1 gear, and that's 1 squared. Oh, so it doesn't go up to cubed, it just stays at squared. So when you've got 2 of the same matching, it's 2 squared. And when you've got 3 of the same matching, it's 3 squared. Okay, cool. So it's always squared. I was going to say 3 cubed sounded way too high. So once that's done, you'll discard the last remaining card, obviously because you start with 7 cards and you only play 6, and you will then go up to the 2nd age. In the 2nd age, the cards get more expensive, but their benefits get better. So you really need to build your tableau of resources in the 1st age so you can get ready for the 2nd age. And then you will draft in the opposite direction, and then you'll come into the 3rd age, and you'll go back to drafting in the 1st direction. And once you've done it 3 times, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, you will calculate points and you will see who the winner is. The last thing I forgot to mention, now that I remember, if you can't do anything, because you should never really do this just because it would be bad. A card played is almost always better than a card discarded. But say I had this. I didn't have a glass in front of me, and neither of my neighbours had glass in front of them. I could just discard this card and take 3 coins. And that is how you play 7 Wonders. So 7 Wonders is one of those games that it's got, you'll notice one of the things that keeps recurring in what I like is different ways to win. That is, for me, having choices and options, things I can experiment with, are always going to raise a game standing for me. So, obviously you've got your military. You can't flat out win through military. I think the most points you'd be able to get through military are 1-1, so 2, and then 3-3, 6 or 8, and then is it 5-5 or is it 10-10? No, it's 5-5. So yeah, you can't even get 20 points through military. But putting pressure on people with military, giving them those negative points, makes them potentially spend resources on matching you, which can deny them points in other places in the game. Obviously, you've had to deny yourself those same points by going into military in the first place, but it is one of those like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to put out this one card, and if you don't answer it, you're going to lose points and I'm going to get points. But if you do answer it, well, then I might put another card out, and then you're still going to be losing points. So do you even really want to bother? So the military aspect is really cool. I like that you can just grab your straight up victory cards. You can go into the science, although that is a nightmare to try and explain to people the first time they play the game. I still fail miserably at it. It involves math. I don't do math. I do curls. You know, like, come on. Math. Get someone else for that, rule teach. And then you've also got, you've got the guilds in Age 3, which you can score based off what your opponents on either side have been doing the whole game. It's just, there's a lot of different ways to get where you're trying to be, and I always love that in a game. So, where does Seven Wonders end up? Let's have a look. Rules. Rules are a funny one because you look at the rule book and, it's got what all the symbols mean on the back. It's got detailed setup, detailed scoring. It's got everything in there that you would want a good rule book to have. It's got quick rules showing you again which every symbol, what every card does. And you think that would be enough, but for some reason, with Seven Wonders, it never is. I consider myself to be a pretty good rules teacher, and I've taught Seven Wonders to maybe a dozen people at this point, and they are always lost little lambs for the first game. Now, the great thing about Seven Wonders is it's over quick enough for them to be like, okay, I get it now, can we play again? And that happens almost universally. There is just some sort of disconnect between the rules and the gameplay, and it's sort of this ethereal thing. I don't understand why it happens, but it happens every single time. So we're going to give the rules, even though I think they're well written, I think it's got all the information that you need, I think everything's in the right place, I'm still only going to give the rules a 7 out of 10 because there is just this weird disconnect with new players. And that goes into our accessibility. Again, new players for their first game never know what they're doing, but they do by the end of it. It is a short enough experience that they can jump straight back in. So we're not going to be too harsh with the accessibility. If you played a full 3-hour game and people didn't understand what was going on until right at the end, then your accessibility is a 2. But because this game is so quick and you can jump in and play it again, I'm going to keep it where the rules are, 7. Then you've got the artwork. Look, the artwork it's fine. It's cards. The cards are good quality components. The chits are nice and thick. The Wonder Board, the Wonder Boards. For some reason that sounds weird when I say the Wonder Boards. It sounds like I'm talking about some comic book stuff, but no, that's what they are, Wonder Boards. The Wonder Boards all have, art that's relevant. The iconography is good. I was going to give the art a low score, but then as I started talking about all the good things about it, I really can't. It does its job. The iconography, good, we don't even use the quick references anymore because we know, arrows this way and this way mean your opponents next to you. Arrows this way, and down mean you and your opponents next to you. Every now and then you will have to check a Wonder Board, like, I can't remember what the card with 3 colours in the top right means. It means you get to build the first colour for free, so you do, but it's one of those things that sometimes you need a refresher. I'm going to give the artwork and components an 8. Yeah, that feels right. No other reason, just feels right. And gameplay, would I play it again? To be honest, I probably play 6 games of Seven Wonders a day on Board Game Arena, so I'm going to give that a 10. So that brings Seven Wonders to an 8 out of 10. Very well deserving of that score. I think everyone should have a copy of Seven Wonders in their collection. And if you know of a good way to remember how the science scoring works and explain it, please hit me up in the comments, because evidently I'm useless and I need help on this one.